of all, good morning, everybody. You know, that actually wasn't bad. I will take that this morning. It's really, I always love getting back to Kuwait. And I try to get here, once a month or so. And we try and stick around as long as we can. But our responsibilities are theater-wide. Same thing that all of you are responsible for. You guys don't have responsibilities just in one place. It's really everywhere, and not just in this theater, but it extends all the way back to the United States, where a lot of our funding and many of our authorities come from. I've been in command now for about 32 months, and General Phillips is the third theater signal provisional brigade commander that I have observed, and the two before him, general officers, were immensely talented, but I will tell you that John Phillips is the complete package, and I think you all know that. I've seen, I know more about communications and networks than any infantry officer should know. But here's what I do know is that, and this is something that I've been pretty consistent about for the last 6 years, when I was at CENTCOM as the Chief of Staff and in this job, and that is, if we're not careful, the only thing that we're going to be able to do is talk to one another because of the costs associated with what we do. Our networks and our ability to talk is very, very important, and you can always tell how important something is by how little people talk about how much it costs. And John and I have had this discussion and I've had this discussion with his predecessors and with John Baker here when General Baker was the CENTCOM J6. Our responsibility is to get everything that we can out of the network that we have, to make smart decisions in terms of modernization. But it's also, it has never lost on me when I get notes or see notes from commanders complaining about, our communications. I saw something the other day that talked about, assured communications. Well, I think we have that. This note reference assured communications was being sent when they were at the contingency level of their PACE plan, right? And so nobody ever tells you, at the end of a day where they have had perfect communications and have been able to talk to everybody and do everything, nobody sends you a note and says, hey, thanks, I had a great combo day today. But I tell you what, let shit break for like 30 minutes, right? And you all will hear about it. But you know what though? You all, as signal officers, those are the bludgeonings that you start getting as a second lieutenant and as a staff sergeant. And when you get to be a crusty old one-star, you got very, very, very thick skin. And I tell you what, you all have been, this whole organization runs as well as it does. It is able to accomplish what it accomplishes because of the leadership of John Phillips. And John, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you've done here. And I know that Sherry and the kids are not here, but this general officer, just like many of you, has sacrificed the last year away from his family to do this. And like many of you in here, that's a difficult thing to do. And if it wasn't for the support of his family and the love of his family, John wouldn't be able to do what he's done. And so, John, thanks for everything. And again, I'll be a little bit more articulate in my prepared remarks, but just know that I'm very, very thankful for everything that you've done. And we're going to miss you, but I know where you're going, and I'll know how to get in touch with you. So please, publish the order.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States of America has awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to Brigadier General John H. Phillips, United States Army, for exceptionally meritorious service to the government in a position of great responsibility from 26 June 2017 to 25 August 2018 as the Commanding General, 335th Signal Command, Theater Provisional, and the Assistant Chief of Staff, G6, United States Army Central. Brigadier General Phillips's dedication to service, dynamic leadership, exemplary professionalism, and unmatched technical expertise contributed immeasurably to United States Army Central achieving vital mission success across the entire area of operations. Brigadier General Phillips's loyalty to our soldiers and our nation and his steadfast commitment to mission success reflect great credit upon himself, United States Army Central, and the United States Army. Signed under my hand on this second day of July 2018, Mark T. Esper, Secretary of the Army.
So I'm Major General John Baker. I'm the Commanding General of the Network Enterprise Technology Command out of Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And I'm honored to just take a couple minutes to recognize John Phillips and the great men and women of the 335th Theater Signal Command Forward Provisional. And I'm recognizing John on behalf of all your fellow commanders and your teammates. And so you're one of 3 theater signal commands that we have in NETCOM. Your 160th is one of 7 brigades that we have in NETCOM, and then the Cyber Protection Brigade. We're only as good as all of the parts together, and we have been able to benefit from much of the work you've done over here for the last 14 months as we have prepared for operations in other parts of the world. Many of the men and women that leave Kuwait go into the other units around the world and take the expertise that they learned here. And so I just appreciate the leadership that you've provided those men and women while they were here as they get ready to go to the next duty station. But from your teammates in Fort Huachuca and all over the globe, we've got our Buffalo Soldier statue for you. And we present this to the commanders because we never want you to forget that you have many homes, but one of them's Fort Huachuca. And at Fort Huachuca, a cavalry fort that's been around since 1877, it's got a great and strong history with the Buffalo Soldiers of our Army. And at the time of their service, in the 1870s, 80s, 90s, 1900s, up through World War II, they were the finest combat soldiers in our Army, and the first to be introduced into combat in World War I. And so we hand out the Buffalo Soldier statue as a representative of that kind of legacy, and also as a tribute to their service, and to honor the sacrifices the Buffalo Soldiers made, and as a reminder that that comes home and will be. So on behalf of all the command teams across NETCOM, here's your Buffalo Soldier statue. I always present books to people I work closest with as a compliment to their intellect. And John, you're obviously a very, very smart person. And I always try to pick a reason for the book I present. And I'm presenting you with a book about the Battle of Waterloo because you're going to U.S. Army Europe, and the borders that exist in Europe today were shaped by that battle back in 1814. And so this is your homework assignment while you're on leave for the next couple of weeks. And if you already have this book, you have to get rid of it because I've inscribed this one.
So quick words because I have a 17-minute speech later. But no, this has been the easiest job I've ever had. I absolutely mean that as I look around the room, and I'm going to forget people today. I had multiple bosses, as General Baker just stated, but I've had multiple teammates that have made this job so easy. And I just want to thank everybody because I am only getting this because of the combined accomplishments and contributions of everybody in this room. And I want to point out one fact, so the 160th Brigade did an NCO induction ceremony a week and a half ago, a phenomenal event, and they have followed my entire philosophy on life in executing that. We had 3 sergeants first class from another unit that doesn't even belong to the 160th Signal Brigade that were inducted in that NCO ceremony. They've been Army Reservists or National Guardsmen for a couple of years and just never had been inducted. Now they're sergeants first class. So I'd like to give a big round of applause. First off, if you were inducted in that ceremony last week, please raise your hand. Give them a big round of applause. Those soldiers there are going to be the ones standing and wearing a wreath and a star, and as a sergeant major and as a command sergeant major one day, they're going to grow up and take on this organization. So we have to pass on our philosophies in life to make them the better organization than we are today, and I want to thank everybody for that. Thank you very much.
Good morning and welcome Major General Halil, Kuwaiti Land Forces Commander, the American Ambassador to Kuwait, Lawrence Silverman, Lieutenant General Michael Garrett, Commander, United States Army Central, Major General Andrew Schaefer, Commander, Task Force Spartan, Major General John Baker, Commander, U.S. Army Network Enterprise Technology Command, Major General Peter Bossi, Commander, 335th Signal Command Theater, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers, civilians, and contractors of the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional, welcome to today's change of command ceremony between Brigadier General John H. Phillips and Brigadier General Nikki Griffin Olive. During today's ceremony, Brigadier General Phillips, the Commanding General for the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional, will relinquish command to Brigadier General Griffin Olive. Presiding over today's ceremony is Lieutenant General Michael Garrett, Commanding General, United States Army Central. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the invocation by Chaplain Michael Jaquez.
Let's pray. Almighty Lord, giver of life, today we come to you with deep gratitude in our hearts for all the gifts you give us each day. What an honor to call upon you and to know that we not only can, but are invited to ask your presence in our midst. At this time, we pause to reflect on this momentous occasion. You put leaders in positions to care for your people and to accomplish your mission in the world. We praise you for who you have chosen. Thank you for the successes that we have had over the previous year. The commitment, professionalism, and discernment in balancing needs of soldiers and completing mission has been remarkable. We also look to the future and ask your blessing. Give us guidance and wisdom in fulfilling our mission and determining how to treat one another. Provide humility to accept the sacred trust you are bestowing today. Let it be guarded and used appropriately to accomplish your will and bring you glory. Amen.
Please be seated. The units participating in today's ceremony from left to right are Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 335th Signal Command, Theater Provisional, commanded by Captain Denisha L. Jackson and First Sergeant David R. Vance. The USA Regional Cyber Center, Southwest Asia, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Michael Maharaj and Sergeant Major William W. Rimford III. Today's color guard is under the leadership of Command Sergeant Major Theodore H. DeWitt, Command Sergeant Major, 335th Signal Command, Theater Provisional. The 160th Theater Strategic Signal Brigade, commanded by Colonel Kevin L. Briggs and Command Sergeant Major Jonathan F. Napier. The 25th Theater Strategic Signal Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Stephen M. Dale and Command Sergeant Major Brett J. McIntyre. The 54th Theater Strategic Signal Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Joseph N. Gardner and Command Sergeant Major James G. O'Brien. The 101st Expeditionary Signal Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Ian J. Seagriff and Sergeant Major David L. Peeler. The formation you see before you today represents more than 2,000 signal soldiers, civilians, and contractors serving throughout the AOR. Bugle calls were an efficient and practical means of communication in ancient times and has continued through the ages as part of ceremonies. The first bugle call you will hear today will be attention, taken from the British alarm, which directed soldiers to turn out underarms. The second bugle call is the adjutant's call, which indicates that the adjutant is about to form the unit. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the formation where the adjutant, Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Vivian Byers, will begin the ceremony.
Attention! Sound! Adjutant's call!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the rendering of honors.
Bring your units to present arms! Reset! Halt!
Reset! Oh!
Reset. Oh!
Sir, command formed.
Post. Bring your units to order arms. Order! Oh!
Order. Oh!
Bring your units to present arms.
Reset! Halt!
Reset! Oh!
Reset. Oh!
Stand. Present. Huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Bring your units to order arms.
Order! Halt!
Order! Oh!
Order.
color center. Halt!
The commander of troops will now bring the colors forward.
Detachment, forward! Halt! 6, 2, 3, 4, march on! 5, stand! All right, detachment, halt! Stir the color.
Take your post and present the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Our colors are forward, and we will now render honors to our respective nations by first playing the Kuwaiti national anthem, followed by salute and singing of our national anthem by Sergeant Cayetano Hewitt.
Bring your units to present arms. Present. Move. Present. Move. Present. Move. Attention. Present. Halt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Attention. Order. Halt. Bring your units to order arms and parade rest.
The 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional is the Army's Theater Signal Command operating in Southwest Asia. Designated as a provisional command in 2005, it is a multi-component unit providing strategic and operational level communication support to U.S. and coalition forces. The command is operationally controlled by the United States Army Central Command. The 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional provides dedicated coalition command, control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support at the United States military's strategic level. Campaign credits include the following: Republic of Vietnam, Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation New Dawn. Brigadier General Phillips commissioned in the Signal Corps following graduation in 1990 from the Citadel. His civilian education includes a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering and a Master's of Strategic Studies degree from the United States Army War College. He's held numerous positions, including serving as the commander of the 451st Sustainment Command Expeditionary Rear Detachment. Brigadier General Phillips is married to Dr. Sherry Phillips, and they have 2 sons, Stone and Ryan. For Brigadier General Phillips' complete biography, please refer to your program. Brigadier General Nikki Griffin Olive commissioned in the Signal Corps following graduation from Eastern Washington University. Her civilian education includes a Bachelor of Arts degree in Psychology from Eastern Washington University, a Master of Arts degree in Management from American Military University, and a Master of Strategic Studies from the United States Army War College. She's held numerous positions, including serving as the Deputy Commanding General Sustainment and Operations for the 335th Signal Command Theater. Brigadier General Griffin Olive is married to Colonel Jeffrey Olive, and they have 2 daughters, Darby and Kendall. For Brigadier General Griffin Olive's complete biography, please refer to your program.
Detachment, attention. Bring your units to attention.
Now there, up and up.
RCC, attention. Okay, attention.
The change of command ceremony is a military tradition that is rich with symbolism and heritage dating back to medieval times. Soldiers often carried staffs or standards into battle, which identified them as a unit. Throughout military history, unit colors have marked the position of the commander on the battlefield and served as a rallying point. While attacking or rallying on the battlefield, soldiers would follow the colors of their leader, most often found at the forward edge of the battle. In more recent times, the colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of the soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, so are the colors. The passing of the unit colors represents the transfer of authority and responsibility from one commander to another. The Command Sergeant Major is the keeper of the colors. As the senior enlisted soldier in the unit, he is the spokesperson for both the loyalty and concerns of the soldiers and the principal advisor to the commander. The passing of the colors from the Command Sergeant Major to the outgoing commander signifies his last act of allegiance to that commander. The passing of the colors from the outgoing commander to the senior commander signifies that the unit is never without officer leadership. The passing of the colors from the senior commander to the incoming commander signifies the passing of his trust and the responsibility for this unit and its soldiers. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional, Camp Arifjan, Kuwait, effective 19 July 2018. Signed, Nikki Griffin Olive, Brigadier General Commanding. The passing of the colors from the incoming commander to the command sergeant major signifies the confidence that the commander places in the non-commissioned officer corps and is the command sergeant major's first act of allegiance to his new commander. Command Sergeant Major DeWitt returns the colors to the color guard, who exemplifies the high standards of discipline, conduct, and military expertise that go with the responsibility of bearing the flag that represents so much to the soldiers.
Bring your units to parade ground. Detachment, parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the United States Army Central Command, Lieutenant General Michael Garrett.
Well, what a great day, and I tell you, we got in last night. And the last few weeks have been spent pretty much in Washington D.C., and I could tell that I was soldier deficient. Hadn't spent much time here in the region the last 3 weeks, and already makes a big difference being around all of you. And not only do you motivate me, but you inspire me, and you actually give me the energy that I need to provide the leadership that all of you deserve. There is nothing more powerful than the men and women that are standing in this formation today. They represent what is absolutely the best of our nation. The young men and women who raise their right hand and serve and defend their nation. Let's give all of our soldiers a big round of applause. You know, the other thing that is just really, really neat, you couldn't see what I saw as we were passing the colors, but there's a certain look of relief when the outgoing commander relinquishes the colors, and I say just a small tinge of relief. It's really sorrow when they consider in a second's time all that they have put into this unit that they're now turning over to a new commander. And then, my favorite, and it doesn't matter if you are a second lieutenant assuming the range of your first platoon or a brigadier general assuming command, there's always that smile. And I'm not sure exactly what's going through their head, but there's a smile as they probably consider the many years and all of the different experiences that have prepared them for this moment to command. So good morning, everyone, fellow general officers, and we really do have some special guests today. Ambassador Silverman, Ambassador, thanks for taking time to be here with us today. We have the soldiers from the Ready Lightning Brigade, the 335th Signal Theater Provisional Team. It is a privilege and honor to preside over this transition between two of the Army's premier communicators, Brigadier General John Phillips and Brigadier General Nikki Griffin Olive. I also want to welcome my good friend and partner, Major General Khalid Al-Sabah, Commander of the Kuwait Land Forces. I'd also like to welcome back the Commander of the 335th Signal in Atlanta, Major General Pete Bossy, as well as his Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Farmer. It's good to have both of you here again with us today as we begin another chapter in the rich history of the 335th Signal Provision Command. You know, the theater armies today are much different from the field armies of yesteryear. Third Army deployed under Generals George Patton and John Yosak, and they commanded multiple corps and divisions, whereas Army Central is comprised mainly of its permanently dedicated functional enabling commands. Our sustainment, intelligence, air defense, and signal commands make the systems and networks of our area of responsibility run. These systems and networks, in turn, enable our rotating units, led by CJTF OIR, Task Force Spartan, to do the work of supporting the four named operations for which we are responsible. Among our enabling commands, the team of teams that makes up the Theater Provisional 335th Signal Command is especially critical. Without you, the whole enterprise stops in its tracks. The formations now executing operations Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Inherent Resolve in Iraq and Syria, and Spartan Shield across the Central Command, AOR, rely on the networks you provide in order to command and control their forces. The forces supporting multinational observers in the Northern Sinai likewise depend on you so that they have the required communications to keep the peace there. Enabling commands themselves, our Sustainment Command, our military intelligence and air defense brigades, provide world-class logistical support, intelligence support to protect our formations. But they all depend on you to be able to do this. And they could not support those formations were it not for the communications networks that the 335th engineers and maintains. You are the linchpin of our sense command and control, communications and information's function. And you don't get enough credit for performing this critical task. So thanks, all of you, for the job that you do and for the way that you do it. The Central Command area of operations is a challenging place, perhaps the most difficult of our geographical combatant commands. 4 million square miles, 550 million people from more than 20 ethnic groups, observing multiple religions and speaking 18 languages, with literally hundreds of dialects. The region lies at the crossroads of 3 continents and sits astride a number of critical choke points and lines of communication. Because of this fact, since 1990, U.S. Central has maintained a presence in the region. And as a Theater Army and Combined Forces Land Component Command for U.S. Army Central, our mission is to be prepared to form a joint task force when required, to set and reset the theater, and to conduct planning for our land force employment, and to provide sustainment for forces that are fighting our nation's wars in the region. The 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional is in many ways emblematic of what defines our theater army. We are a total Army team. Our primary purpose is to set and reset the theater, and we provide depth and options for U.S. Central Command by virtue of those networks I just mentioned. As a critical member of the RCENT team since its designation as a provisional command in 2005, the 335th combines a total Army effort with both active and reserve components. You've heard me say many times that our Army would have failed long ago without the talented formations provided to us by the Guard and the Reserves. The 335th Signal Theater Provisional Commander is a critical player in the most important function that U.S. RCENT performs, and that is of risk management in the land domain. That's why your boss, your previous boss, John Phillips, is not only the commander of this talented outfit, but he's also dual-hatted as the Army Central's G6 with both command authorities as well as staff responsibilities. John is a rare signal officer who combines great leadership with amazing aptitude and technical know-how to fulfill multiple responsibilities across the region. It is that leadership and that know-how that enabled John's team of gifted professionals to find ways to keep commanders in Erbil, Taji, Al-Assad talking. The networks in Afghanistan enabled target approvals from Kandahar and Helmand to Bagram and across the AOR. Commanders at all levels had the flexibility to rapidly deploy their tactical communications while simultaneously maintaining their connectivity to higher, lateral, and subordinate commands. Managing a workforce of nearly 2,000 military contractors and Department of the Army civilians and a 3-year budget of over $1 billion, this unit, and John, is overseeing the optimization of our deployable Ku-band air terminals, our DCATs, to augment the warfighting information network tactical infrastructure. This allows him to reduce the traffic load on our regional hub and to provide network hub services for disadvantaged forward operating bases. He is resynchronizing the theater network infrastructure and rebalancing the IT infrastructure in Afghanistan as he prepares the Southwest Asia Cyber Center to assume control of it. He's optimizing the IT support and structure at FOB Union 3 in Baghdad to ensure the greatest possible connectivity for the headquarters for CJTF OIR. And under his leadership, the 335th's talented team of professionals has continually improved our network infrastructure in Jordan, and they have engineered new solutions there as our footprint in this important allied nation continues to grow. So John, on behalf of the ARCENT team, please accept my congratulations on a job extremely well done. And please convey to your family, Sherry, or should I say Dr. Phillips, and to Stone and Ryan, of how proud they should be of your contributions to the important work we are doing here. You can leave knowing that you have made a lasting and an important difference here. John, Godspeed as you depart, and I look forward to your continued contribution to our Army. You know, today is a bittersweet day in the 335th and in ARCENT because as excited as we are, or as sad as we are to see John depart, we are as excited to welcome Nikki Griffin Olive into the ARCENT fold. Brigadier General Griffin Olive arrives having just departed her previous assignment as the Deputy Commanding General for Sustainment for the 335th Signal Command Theater in East Point. And prior to that, she commanded the 359th Theater Tactical Signal Brigade. So like many previous commanders, she comes to us from the 335th parent organization and doubtlessly comes with a wealth of experience and know-how, having watched this organization from a number of previous positions. Nikki, I know that Jeff, Darby, and Kendall share our pride in this latest accomplishment, and that they will no doubt support you in that most difficult of challenges for commanders, and that is taking a great unit and keeping it great. That's your mission, and I have every confidence that you will excel. For our many distinguished guests, thanks again, all of you, for being here. To all the soldiers, the magnificent soldiers that represent our units here, thanks for everybody that had a hand in putting this together. These things don't happen for a minute or without a lot of work. And don't think for a minute that I don't know how hard you work every single day to make comms happen in this region. So again, a big round of applause for our soldiers. And thanks again to all of you for being here. Ready, Lightning. Third, always first.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former Commanding General of the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional, Brigadier General John H. Phillips.
Ambassador Silverman, Lieutenant General Garrett, Major Generals Schaefer, Carell, Baker, Bossi, Major General Halid, fellow general officers, command sergeants major, and Dr. Azmi, soldiers, civilians, and friends of Team Orange. Good morning, and thank you for attending today's change of command ceremony. First off, a huge round of applause for Sergeant Hewitt for that amazing rendition of our national anthem. All right, soldiers of the 335, go ahead and rest. Shake it out. I know, I don't do this often. There you go. All right, back to parade rest. All right. The past 14 months have been a blessing. Growing up the third son and fourth child to an infantry officer, I was the only one who followed in his footsteps in the Army. He, however, never had the opportunity to witness my career. I last saw him the morning I started Ranger School. He died a week after I reported to my first duty assignment at Fort Bragg. A company commander in Vietnam and recipient of the Soldier's Medal for peacetime heroism, he instilled in me the notion that officers exist to command. Staff work, and should seek every opportunity to do so. Staff work is penance you endure in between. He has been and always will be an inspiration of my life. And as a side note, he finished his career as an Army Materiel Command Program Manager for the brand new M1 tank in the late 1970s. So I know he's kind of smiling down on this ceremony as taking place in an AMC warehouse that just a few weeks ago held several dozen tanks. These soldiers standing before you are some of the most competent professionals I've ever known. They engineer, operate, and maintain, and defend the most lethal weapon system imaginable, our Mission Command Network. Without their expertise, commanders cannot command. Our most sophisticated weapons will not strike their target, and unmanned aerial vehicles will not provide timely intelligence. Without radios, the best rifle squad becomes 9 individual riflemen. I have to admit, being dual-hatted as Commander and Assistant Chief of Staff G6 was easy. This would not have been so. In fact, it would have been impossible without the stellar teams of U.S. Army Central, back at Shaw Air Force Base, and here forward in Kuwait, along with the core of the 335th Staff and the 160th Signal Brigade. The 28 Network Enterprise Centers and 30-plus other mission teams from the 25th and 54th Signal Battalions and the 101st Expeditionary Signal Battalion, along with the 115th and 67th ESBs before them, are currently deployed to 9 countries in the ARCENT area of responsibility and have conducted mission support or partner training exercises in an additional 5 Southwest Asian countries. They operate constantly under constantly changing requirements in very austere conditions. Yet they receive excellent support from the ever-vigilant Regional Cyber Center, Southwest Asia. This world-class team is not commanded by ARCENT or the 335th, but they remain a vital teammate on Team Orange and wanted and deserve to stand in this formation today. Let's give them a big round of applause. The units in this command are the true horsepower of our strength. The resources required to accomplish our mission come from many sources. Money comes from ARCENT, U.S. Army CIO G6, and NETCOM, while soldiers come from U.S. Army Cyber or ARCENT, or currently mobilized Army Reserve soldiers or National Guardsmen. In fact, the soldiers before you are almost a 1/3 mix of all 3 components of the total force, a true testament of what we can accomplish together. Major Generals Bossy and Baker, thank you for your over-the-horizon support. These soldiers operate a stratosphere above good enough. Whether hosting the best Cyber Ranger competition, engineering and installing new infrastructure in Jordan well ahead of schedule, supporting the deployment of the very first Cyber or Security Force Assistance Brigade to Afghanistan, or enabling Mission Command, which contributed to defeating Daesh in Iraq and Syria more than a year ahead of projections. They do so with little fanfare or recognition. Commanders expect systems to work without fully comprehending the complexity required to nest all the required technology. Just one pothole on the information superhighway can disrupt the commerce of communication, but they prevailed. I advocated one maxim: no one organization will take credit, but the entire team must contribute. And contribute they did. J and 6 shops in Task Force Spartan, 1st TSC, 143rd ESC, U.S. Forces Afghanistan, and CJTF-OIR, alongside those previously mentioned teams in the 335th and RCC SWA, form Team Orange with that goal in mind: ensuring reliable mission command. As the commanding general, I've had to work for just one commander, Lieutenant General Garrett. Thank you for your steadfast support and allowing us the latitude to execute our mission. I will publicly state that he only chastised me once. 2 days after a series of terrible communications that resulted in multiple dropped video teleconferences or VTCs. Ironically, that one-way conversation occurred over a perfect quality VTC, but I didn't point that fact out. Sir, thanks again for being your G6 it has been a highlight of my career. Command is a joint effort, and I've had the best command team I could have hoped for. My battle buddy, CSM Ted DeWitt, alongside my RCENT G6 Sergeant Major Michael Lewis, led these organizations. They are consummate professionals, standard bearers, and supporters of NCO leadership at all levels. Other key members are Colonel Griggs, who is finishing up a 27-month command tour of the impeccable 160th Brigade. My rotating chiefs of staff, Colonels Easley, Delgado, Rosno, and Orr. My G3s, Colonel Katad, Sellers, and McNeil. Deputy Commanders, Colonel Barry and Rummel. My RCENT G6 team of Colonel Coster and Lieutenant Colonel Diaz. And finally, my Command Chief Warrant Officer, CW5 Felicia Shuren. Thanks for being so integral to the process and all rowing in the same direction. This organization will continue to flourish under the leadership of Brigadier General Griffin Olive, who I have known for nearly 3 decades. She is competent and truly cares about the soldier under her care and will treat them with the dignity and respect they deserve. Her new perspective will continue to advance this organization, and she is my highest confidence. Nikki, I wish you nothing but success. Finally, I offer thanks to my wonderful family. They have unselfishly allowed me to pursue my other love, the Army. Sherry, Stone, and Ryan are my best friends, and they have never questioned why this time, as I headed over here again and again, culminating with 5 tours and 68 months in Southwest Asia. My next tour should, and I promise will, make up for the long absences. I first watched the movie Patton with my pop many years ago. There's a scene in which General Omar Bradley expresses his loathe for Patton's leadership style by saying, "The difference between you and me, Georgie, is you do this job because you love it. I do this job because I have been trained to do it." No offense to General Bradley, but both are necessary. To do this job right, you must love it. I certainly have. Cyber never sleeps. Forged in fire. Ready lightning. Patton's own. Lightning 6 signing out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the 335th Signal Command, Theater Provisional, Brigadier General Nikki Griffin Olive.
Hey, good morning. Ambassador Silverman, Lieutenant General Garrett, Major General Schaefer, Major General Baker, Major General Bossy, Major General Carell, Major General Khalid, fellow general officers, Command Sergeants Major, Chief Warrant Officers, Kuwaiti and coalition partners, distinguished guests, friends, and all of those tuning in to Facebook Live. To include my incredible husband, Jeff, our daughters, Darby and Kendall, my parents, Sergeant First Class retired Mitchell Pollock, Sergeant Major Judy Pollock, my awesome in-laws, Pete, Nan Beth, Jamie, Matt, the kids, all of our family and friends who are tuning in for the ceremony right now, right in the middle of what should be your REMS, dream, sleep time. Hey, Olive Posse. First, I'd like to acknowledge the soldiers, leaders, and the mighty NCOs here today, standing tall, adorned in our nation's cloth. I sincerely appreciate the hard work, the long hours, and the effort that you put into making this an amazing event. If you please, one more round of applause for the Team Orange. Looking phenomenal out there. Lieutenant General Garrett, sir, a heartfelt thanks for allowing me the opportunity to lead Team Orange in an evolving and dynamic environment. Thank you to our Army Reserve senior leaders, Lieutenant General Lucky, and our senior signal and cyber leaders for your continued faith, confidence, and support. To my mentors, thank you for all of you who continue to see something in me that I cannot see myself. Thank you, Major General Bossy, CSM Farmer, CW5 Lloyd, and the whole 335th Main Command Post team for your continued support and for being here today. Special thanks to John, Sherry, Stone, and Ryan for your immense sacrifice, service, and enormous contributions over the past year to Team Orange and the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional Family U.S. RCENT G6. I recognize, obviously, that John is leaving some very big boots for me to fill. And I give you my word it will be with every ounce of effort that I can muster that I can fill them and continue with Team Orange's dynamic army of soldiers, civilian and contractors to build, maintain, and sustain our warfighters' networks. It is with the grace of God, the support, confidence, and mentorship of thousands and thousands of soldiers, non-commissioned officers, leaders, civilians, friends, family member, and the Army's proverbial village of villages over the past 28 years of service that I stand here today, so humbled for the amazing opportunity to work with all of Team Orange and U.S. Army Central. In the words of the late Theodore Roosevelt, far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is a chance to work hard at work worth doing. And it is without a question, this work is worth doing. Special recognition to my husband, Jeff, who manages to balance all the demands of his civilian job, demands of being a brigade commander in the National Guard, juggle all the requirements of our busy girls, Darby and Kendall, and the love and unconditional support for me. We all know that it is our loved ones, family, and friends that provide the foundation by which we continue to stand and salute. So proud of my girls and the strong young ladies that they are becoming. I know that they will keep Jeff straight in my absence and extremely busy. They are all here by my side and in my heart, and for proof, they sent stuff with me. The pen for signing and the bracelet for wearing, not in uniform. Best mom ever. Finally, Team Orange, I commit to give you my best every day. Continue to build a strong, unbeatable team, and work my hardest to take all the things that you have done alongside General Phillips to the next level. It is with the greatest honor that I serve side by side with you for the next year. What I ask from you simply is never give less than your very best. Never put off for tomorrow what can be done today, and never forget that the work that you do enables our warriors to communicate and win on the battlefield. As customary, all policies and procedures remain in effect. Lightning 6 signing on. Ready, Lightning. Patton Zone.
Attention. Let's in. Bring your units to attention.
RCC, let's head. Brigade,
Detachment. Halt!
Please stand for the benediction, the playing of the Signal Corps March, the Army Song, and the departure of the official party.
Receive the benediction. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you peace. Amen. Amen. Pua.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 335th Signal Command Theater Provisional, thank you for attending today's change of command ceremony. For those who wish to say farewell to Brigadier General Phillips, who will remain in the area, please join Brigadier General Griffin Olive for refreshments on the far side of this building. Ready like